This college football picks week 3 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN. Score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and you're listening to SGPN. Let her run and get her done.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Still can't figure out how Iowa lost that game.
Yes. Iowa losing that game. Insane. Utah, who was just dominating, and Cam Rising. And they almost still covered, even with Cam Rising getting hurt. If they don't miss those 2 field goals, well, what? If they hit one of them, they push. If they hit both, they cover the 14. But even with that Iowa loss, Kramer, we still had a great week. You were 11-3. I'm 10-4. I continue my streak of 3-0 with 3 team teases. Joining us in studio to talk all things college football, Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
The people will come, Sean. They'll come from all over. Rest in peace to the great James Earl Jones.
Oh, right? Wow.
Coming in here, talking about a legend. All right?
What are we talking about? If you build it, they will come.
Which one's his best movie? I mean, he's Vader, obviously. He was
not even close.
He was in Conan. People forget that one.
Spoiler alert. Some people may have not seen Star Wars. They don't know the big reveal. Wait, now I don't know this, Colby.
Well, you don't actually. I mean, he's not actually in the movie. Just his voice.
Oh, well, that's what I was gonna say. Is he actually walking around as Vader or no?
No.
Do you know that for sure?
I got the bet detective on the case.
Based on the credits, yes. It's not. He's not walking around. He managed to have an agent who got him a good gig.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He hadn't done a lot of shit in the 70s. So I think it's under investigation.
He's got some time. He might have walked around a little bit.
All right. So, spoiler alert: if you've not seen Darth Vader take his helmet off, turn the show off right now.
Oh my God!
It's a white guy, Sean.
What?
Yeah. No.
All right, now you've ruined everything.
It was Hollywood was really racist back then. So they, you know what I mean? They couldn't do that.
But
they had to make sure it was that.
It has to be Field of Dreams, which randomly is one of the few movies I was allowed to watch growing up. So I've seen it many times.
Well, he did The Sandlot too, though. I mean, the guy was hitting Coming to America. Come on, he's Eddie Murphy's dad. My son works.
You could argue he is one of the greatest character actors.
Oh yeah,
of our
That's
day.
What I'm saying. We don't have a modern
iconic voice.
Yeah,
I mean, again, he's Darth Vader. Yeah. So I would say
he was in a bunch of Yellow Page ads as well.
Well, he was the
Michigan grad too. Michigan grad. So he got to see them win an Addy last year.
That's
Steven in the chat saying played a great blind man in Sandlot. Forgot that was him.
He's Willie Mays, right?
He but I would say Field of Dreams.
Terrell saying Mufasa.
Oh,
yeah, that was a pretty
good
bad
call too.
That's what I'm saying. He's kind of killed it. He's had.
Is there a better voice?
Wasn't he in the Tom Clancy shit too? Wasn't he in like Clear and Present Danger or some
we
of
need
those
to get
Tom
AI
Clancy things?
We need to get an AI version of him to do some reads.
Some Let It Ride.
Yeah.
This is James Earl Jones. You are listening to SGPN.
No, this is James Earl Jones. If you build it, they will come. Let it ride.
Colby, I mean, we got a ton of college football action to get to. Good week overall.
First time in a long time.
Discord, 2-6. We consensus plays were 6-2. That was pretty sweet.
When was the last time we did not spend college week 2 with Colby in Vegas?
Yeah.
You guys missed me yelling at the old people, didn't you?
We had a pretty tame Saturday.
No. Well, we did have an incident with the chair stealing. We got into it on the in the recap.
Colby
show.
was a bartender, though. We should get his ruling on this. So we're sitting at a bar, probably about 6 or 7 of us, and a guy just squeezes in to play a video poker game.
Even though it was very obvious, we were all sitting there using the chairs.
How would you have handled that?
Well, I think you saw that when I was where were we at?
Yeah,
MGM.
Caesars.
Caesars. There we go. Like, Yeah, I'm not.
I told the story on yesterday's episode. I could not remember what you said to the woman, your threat. I think it was, I'll shoot snot rockets in your hair. It was something very weird like that before she put the hex on.
Well, no, she had shit on us first. Like she had.
She definitely started it. But at one point, you snapped.
I said, "Get out of my face, or I'll blow my nose in your hair."
Yes.
All right. And I think I called her a hag. I go, "You old fucking hag."
You old hag. I'm gonna blow snot in your hair. And she goes, "I hex you. I put a hex on you." And I was like, "Oh shit." And then Nebraska won and covered.
I just love how that if you're not familiar with the story, folks, that the bartenders actually sided with me.
Yeah.
From one bartender, they knew one old school bartender to another bartender. So you would think normally you see like a 90-year-old person in a scenario like that. That's why I actually thought I might get my ass kicked, because I had a feeling all the patrons were completely just blindly on the side of the 90-year-old woman.
Of course.
And I just thought, oh God, here we go. I'm gonna get my teeth knocked out again. So glad to see that that she must have been such a cunt previously.
Yes.
That they just quickly sided with me, saying, "Oh, okay, all right."
Colby, we have to
Probably lucky Colby wasn't there. We definitely would have. I mean, the guy only had one hand too.
Now, if you watched week 2's episode 1, you cashed in a bunch if you're riding some of our picks. 2, you got to see a special guest. Bobby Petrino came in.
Oh wow!
Did help pick the game. Unfortunately, Arkansas did. I mean, that was a crazy game to cover the 7.5.
Never a doubt.
I mean,
which closed closer to 10.
Yeah,
I had some brutal beats, man, between Iowa, Arkansas, and
Arkansas, especially
Utah.
And Utah too, because Cam Rising, they were just lighting it up, and then
they would have won 45-0 if Cam
crazy.
Rising stayed in the game.
Now, Colby, the Bobby Petrino, his cameo on our show, we put out a clip of Bobby Petrino, very big guest, but that prompted a call from your mom.
Yes. So I'm at home about, I think it was 2 days ago, and I get a call, and I don't know how. I didn't know my mom followed the Sports Gambling Podcast on Instagram.
Pretty big.
Yeah. You know,
No,
what I mean?
I think it might be your dad. There is a Dant, some username that I occasionally see likes videos.
Oh.
Okay. So regardless, I guess my mom, she doesn't know anything about a phone, right? Like my mom, she came out when my son was born, and she keeps her cell phone with her, but she doesn't keep it on. She keeps it off.
We gotta save the battery.
Yeah, and she said, "Why would I turn it on? Why would I?" say, "Mom, someone might call you."
Old people.
It's like, well, I have this for when I need to make a call.
Yeah,
I like it. One-way street. It's a one-way street.
It's a good policy.
Right? Actually, kind of. The more I think about it,
their screen time numbers are probably ridiculous.
She calls me 2 days ago, and she goes. She first off, I can't even like get a word in, right? She's just like, "What happened? Why are you in a neck brace? What happened? Did you not want to tell me that you got in a car accident? Is money an issue? What is wrong? Right? What is wrong? Right? And I saw a video your father on your father's phone of you in a neck brace. Right? What happened? Is your son okay? Is your wife okay?" And I'm like, Mom. I'm playing a character. If you watch the video, he says Bobby Petrino. It was
and the exact. I don't know if your parents didn't read the captions, but the exact phrase that you're saying in character is, our offense is gonna run through their defense like I ran through the women on this campus. Like, what is?
Yeah, I love how my mom and that would offend my mom if you know my mother, but she completely ignores that because she sees me in the neck brace and just goes absolutely just. No, I guarantee you, she didn't listen to one word said. But she just saw me in the neck brace and said, "Oh my fucking God, what happened to my son? Why do I not know this?" And yeah, it was a fun time just explaining. And then I had to explain who the fuck Bobby Petrino was,
that's good.
which then led me to then sending her a text message of his press conference. So,
and did your mom like it once she figured it out?
Well, my mom. Look, you got to understand. My mom, growing up, she use Charlie Sheen for an example. Charlie Sheen, she has hatred for Charlie Sheen because he cheated on his wife.
Okay.
Right? She's old school like that. And I'm like, you don't even know his story. Like I know stories of.
You on Charlie Sheen's side?
Well, like I'm friends with someone that I grew up with them, and they're like, dude, you know, they gave him acid as like 7-year-old birthday party. You're not gonna be normal if you're a 7-year-old, you know, taking acid. So I try to explain it to my mom, but it's like my mom is just automatically out no matter what. If that happens, you know, she thinks they're trash. You know what I mean? It's you're trash. You're trash if you do that. So yeah, it was good experience there. She's not a fan of Bobby Petrino.
Colby, what's wrong? Why,
Yeah.
My poor baby, he's in a horrible accident.
Why would you go in disguise as him? He's a piece of trash, right? Well, Mom, that's
It's
the
a
joke.
character, yeah.
That's the joke. Is
You're not paying.
Yeah.
I would not say you're paying tribute to Bobby Petrino. Well, there was a little bit, I guess. In there.
Colby got hot there.
Well,
was
my mom
exciting.
got hot there.
You were excited.
It was hilarious because I at first I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I didn't see the clip, so I didn't know you guys had put out a clip.
I
don't follow sports gambling podcasts. There's a war in house over here between TCE and sports gambling.
You know what?
Podcast.
If you're a TCE guy,
So,
get the fuck out. Get out of the chat right now.
Colby's playing both sides.
You can watch Colby's
Kramer,
picks tomorrow.
Turn off his headphones. I don't want him hearing these winners.
You can, he's gonna use them all. He'll be live tomorrow, Wednesday night, 5:30 p.m. on the West Coast.
Week 3 preview and picks.
But
right?
yeah, it'll be and
Got a lot of episodes coming out over there. Just want to clarify.
We got Arizona State, Texas State. It'll be interesting to see what you like here, and then tomorrow night you can see what changes the evolution.
Well, the line might change, Sean. You know?
And again, there is a bounty out of any reported traitor, treachery, Pick Dundeen, Benedict Danting,
Walk the plank. Come walk the plank.
double picking you. The $50 SGPN gift card up for grabs. Now, Kramer,
And you're probably wondering why Colby's not doing his show tonight. Well, we told him he has to do contractually has to make picks after our show. So
I thought you guys purposely wanted that to try to, you know, a download boost with these picks, but I don't know.
Wow.
Knowing how the last 3, like I said, those 3 beats were fucking brutal.
Next show, send your chat to the Golf Channel. I don't want him in here.
Kramer, and if you want someone that is just he's the Leonardo da Vinci of Tally Site, just like a masterpiece. I open up the SGPN app, which has all our free picks. And I'm scrolling through Texas, Michigan to see some people had Texas 7.5. Some people had Texas -7. Some people had Michigan.
Don't
7.5. And I'm scrolling through looking
People
at
aren't ready for the truth.
looking at everyone has, and on the very last one, this motherfucker had Texas -3. Where did you get that
No,
line?
I did that shit in June. They put lines out. They put lines out. You know, back in June for like a select 10 games.
Yeah, game of the year.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, that's easy money,
Sharp.
and I really did, and I really
CLV.
did bet that at -3. I think
There
it
you
was
go.
3.5, one of the two, and yeah, so there we go.
I was just laughing really hard.
I mean, it was a highlight of the weekend.
Oh,
Colby's CLV on Tally Site is unmatched. Unmatched. It looks like no one's leaving the chat. Does that mean none of your people are here?
No, they're all there. You can see it.
Maybe
right there,
Aveta's
right?
converted.
It's-
And by the way,
It's
thank
nice,
you.
nice of them to join your guys' show.
Did you already thank Aveta, Sean, on the top?
Love
Oh
Aveta.
yes, always shout out to Aveta. We hung out at the Westgate
Appreciate the booth.
booth, and it's like whenever we sit there, it's like if we're not there, Aveta seems to have it like in her honor. They call it the Aveta booth.
Yeah, which bullshit. We were going.
Shout out to the Aveta booth. Great place to watch games.
Which it is a nice booth.
Yes, 100%.
It's a spacious. We'll say Mush doesn't. Mush can fit with CJ and Bowser.
Yeah,
and
well, and one of the Troys. We have a lot of big boys
Two
in that
Troys
booth.
in
Yes,
there.
double Troys. Jake and the Troys. Shout out to those guys. Good Michigan folk.
You want to talk some college football?
Yeah, let's get to it. Before we do, well, actually, you know what? This is a good start. Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Get that 100% deposit match using promo code SGPN. Let's talk a little college football pick'em to get things going. Because the first game, Arizona State, Texas State. Colby, what's a higher or lower we like for this Arizona State, Texas State game? Sam Leavitt's in there, Jordan McLeod, Cam. How do you pronounce Skatebo?
Scatabo. As FCS Sac State transfer. He was a stud at
Joey
Sac State.
Hobart. What do we like here for a higher lower?
Give me a second here, but I would say, give me what's McLeod's number?
Jordan McLeod, you can get him a anytime touchdown. Higher is that's a spicy play. Passing touchdowns set at 1.5 passing yards, 247.5. Longest completion 40.5 yards.
Passing touchdown is higher than 1.5. You said?
Yep.
Let's take that.
Let's go, baby. Jordan McLeod, higher 1.5 passing touchdowns. Texas State versus Arizona State. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Kramer, what's the current number for Arizona State at Texas State?
Current number, Arizona State -2. I mean, certainly looked like one of the better teams in college with the new college football playoff. I appreciate a lot of the media's holding back rankings until teams play. Arizona State certainly would have to be in anyone's top teams, just in terms of how they look from the eye test. -125 in the money line, 59.5 is the total. Make the Arizona State situation make sense, Colby. This is like they do have a lot of talent,
dude. I mean, I was convinced that the under would hit on 4.5 wins, and
they're out to a crazy start.
And they look. I don't even understand it. Like they lost key guys, like some of their best players from
maybe
a year
they weren't
ago.
key.
Well, obviously, but they bring in like Jeff Sims. He hasn't seen the field. That's been part of the blueprint.
Yep, that was our handicap. He sucked. We thought he sucked, and he was not. We were going to take the under on him. So,
but he looks. I mean, they look. Arizona State look pretty damn good, man. But now, to be fair, Wyoming did lose to an FCS in week 2.
Yeah.
So maybe
they're just bad.
Wyoming without Craig Bull is just horrific.
Good God. I can't.
And that was at home. I was even and thank God I didn't bet it because I thought, oh, okay, that was just in the desert, maybe
and
a
Idaho's
letdown
backup quarterback.
Yeah, I mean the Vandals put it on them. I always love Wyoming at home, and they look rough, man. I don't know.
State could suck
It
too.
is
That's what I'm saying. I think Mississippi State sucks too.
So maybe they just suck.
So that's why I am taking Texas State because first off, Arizona State, you're scheduling a game at Texas State. I commend you. It's funny. You listen to a lot of people and they're like, why would they do this? No, this is what's great. You should do this. You should do this. More teams should do this. But you are going to lose for doing this. And Texas State is going to look. We're on storm watch. We're on storm watch here in San Marcos.
A 2-point dog.
This is the biggest game.
You cannot storm as a 2-point dog.
It's going to happen, dude.
No, that is disgusting.
They're going to storm. Those goalposts are going down.
Disgusting.
They've never had as far as I can recall, they've never had a Power 4 or Power 5 program.
They're not even a field goal dog.
Come into San Marcos. All right, the Lone Star beers are going to be flowing.
Are we worried? Are we worried? I mean, Texas State, they put up 49, but they struggled. What was the score?
Week one against Lamar. Yeah, I think they kind of just kept it vanilla, almost like they knew the rivalry game was on deck against UTSA, Battle of I-35. So,
but
you know how many people I talked to in Vegas about the Battle of I-35?
Ryan kept dropping that nugget. But isn't that why we should consider Arizona State here? Texas State just put up 49 against the rival.
Hear me out though. Like yes, technically you're right.
Like
technically we should be
when
doing
you blow
that.
out your rival, this is when I want to fade you. Why am I not doing it this time?
Because I think Texas State, or at least Texas State fans, know that if you win this, you're coasting. They're in the Sun. So the Sun Belt is the only conference that still has divisions, and the Sun Belt West is horrible. Like you look at the teams in there, Troy and South Alabama and ULM are breaking in brand new head coaches, right? So they're gonna win that division. Who do they draw from the East? No, they don't get App State, who's the favorite, the odds-on favorite. No, they don't get Coastal Carolina, the second odds-on favorite. No, they don't get Georgia Southern, the third odds-on favorite. They have a cakewalk to an undefeated season if they can win this game. Their hardest game left, to me, if they win this game, is probably at Old Dominion or at Sam Houston in the CUSA in their final non-con game. So I just think this is it. This is like you go all out for this one. This is one you know. Team meetings got to be sharp. Everything you got to know the moment. This is the first time a Power 5's coming into San Marcos at Bobcat Stadium, so you got to go all out. Give me Texas State. Let's get this done.
They got some money there.
They do.
He's making $1 million a year.
Dude, they're coming on, man.
I mean, that's this. You know, it's not a small. Anyway, I mean, how do you not take? First of all, the thing that stands out to me is that Arizona State has looked really good, but they've played trash teams. I think. I mean, the Mississippi State team is still kind of rehabbing the roster from being an air raid team. And
I see the chat saying Arizona State party school. You should know that Texas State also party school.
Arizona
so this
State,
is a battle of party schools.
I went to.
You don't need the You don't need to do well in the SATs to get into either one of these.
Arizona State, when they would come to LA to play USC or UCLA, extremely good tailgate.
A lot of talent in the Arizona State program on and off the field. My concern is maybe Arizona State's able to run the ball against Texas State, shorten up the game, but I'm with you guys. Texas State is a home dog, and it'll be fun to root for.
Well, this is one of the ones that the game is so much better because, like the 12-team playoff, like this all of a sudden has major heat, where before it would just be a kind of just like a cool game. Okay, they could beat a Power 5, but now it's actually got like legit implications.
Just like NIU, right? Like that win right there just put them in the catbird seat if they can get it done in the MAC maybe. All right, also worth noting, Arizona State laying 2. Sean, is that what I said? 2.5. 2. 81% of the bets on Arizona State. Not moving to 3. Why is that?
FTP, fade the public. And Jordan McLeod, Colby mentioned. I mean, the total is sitting at 59.5. Underdog has his passing touchdowns at 1.5. Like, what am I missing? This feels like a higher 1.5 passing touchdowns. Underdog fantasy. That seems like a crazy
Sunbelt player of the year last year.
For how high this total is and how good he's looked early in the season. Against ASU defense. So I'm with you guys. Let's go.
We have a new enemy in the chat. He can, good luck.
Jimmy Moore's with Discord. What are you doing, Jimmy?
Good luck. Some people make good life decisions. Some people make bad. That's what parenting's all about. Moving
sounds like a guy that faded Diego pissing Pavia.
I'm moving along. Well, not everyone's perfect.
We need a urinating sound effect for pissing Pavia.
He's not even good. UNLV. He's like Johnny. He's like a very homeless man's Johnny Football. UNLV heads to Kansas City. Is this Colby?
No, it's Kansas City, Kansas, that MLS stadium, because Kansas has their best roster in 15 years, and they decided to renovate the stadium and not play.
Are you sure it's in Kansas?
Yep.
The MLS stadium is not in Missouri.
No, it's Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay. Cross the river. I thought we were going to Missouri. This changes the entire handicap. UNLV. Are they bringing the slot machine, the Rebel Roller, on the road? Kansas laying 7 here, minus 250 on the money line, plus 205 for the Rebels. Are they still the Rebel? Are we allowed to say that?
I call them the running Rebels, but apparently that's a basketball thing. I don't know why, considering they have the go-go offense. You would assume the running Rebels would just fit in there, but
doesn't it feel like UNLV can backdoor this game? I mean, their offense, they put up a decent number of points. Kansas,
they played in the bowl game on Christmas or the day after Christmas. They played the same. These two teams played this.
Yeah.
You get beat up by Bielema. You might not be bouncing back.
Well, I mean,
I was on Bielema in the
haiku.
we were all in Illinois, and it was a kind of an easy, a weird spot for Kansas to be a road favorite. But now they come back at home after a loss. You would imagine this is a good upside for them, but Jalen Daniels, I don't know, didn't look great. 18 of 32, only 141 yards, 3 interceptions. Now UNLV's defense isn't as good as Illinois at home, but I don't know. I think UNLV's offense can at least keep them in this game. I think I'm going to be taking the points here. Colby, what are you doing?
No, I mean, look, UNLV has been on fire.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious about the fan turnout for Kansas. I'm assuming they're going to turn. Like, how far is? Does anyone know how far Kansas City, Kansas is from Lawrence? Because I still just think with Kansas losing this past week, they know that they're still alive to make the playoff. But I don't think you want to lay a dud back-to-back weeks. I think, and the fact they played in the bowl game, if anything, I think Jalen Daniels wasn't available for that. So I'm going to take Kansas minus the points. Leipold, fixes it here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a strong take on UNLV. I would say that preseason,
Ryan, as a slot jockey, you always take the free play. You're getting UNLV and some free play.
But the handicap coming into the year is Kansas isn't going to have a home edge.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that. I listen to Stadium Heads. I know there's no pulse in this stadium.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
That I mean, the -7 to me is factoring in a home edge, which I don't think they have. I like getting 7 points. Kramer, what are you doing? What's going on over there?
Yeah, just trying to. I have no idea, but it seems like everything's normal, so we're just gonna carry on.
Okay.
You said how far is Kansas City, and you're positive this is Kansas City, Kansas?
Yes. I mean, according to everything that I saw, Children's Mercy Park, I believe it's called.
They do have a rabid soccer fan. It's a 40-minute drive, so it's 40.4 miles, and it takes 40 minutes. Feels like the fans will make it to the game.
Yeah, it's good enough. Lay the points. They never had Jalen Daniels. They went up against last year. They went up against Bean. I think Daniels is getting the rust off. Obviously, UNLV's defense not as good as Illinois, and lay it. Let's go.
Kansas.
Kramer, what are you doing?
Kansas catching 63% of the bets. I'm taking the points with my home away from home.
Let's
the
go.
UNLV. And again, Colby, we discussed this. They're the lack of a true home edge is going to ruin their season.
It's worth at least a point or two.
I got 3.5 in my model. Arizona heads to Manhattan, Kansas. Which Colby, have you ever attended a game in the Little Big Apple?
I have not. I need to. I want to get to Bill Snyder Family Stadium.
Oh yeah, don't bring up Bill Snyder. It'll remind the guy who left that 3-star review that one time. Kansas State laying 7.5 against Arizona. Arizona plus 525 on the money line. 58.5 is the total. This is a nice little matchup here. A little week 3. Little.
This is a non-con conference game. Let me repeat that. This is a non-con conference game.
My favorite one.
No, wait. What's the loophole?
They scheduled it before the conference realignment.
Also, I mean, the ACC does this on the regular, where you just have at one of your non-conference games a conference opponent. And you just call it a non-conference.
Yeah, why
game.
does he? That's such a. The ACC, Wake and Carolina did this recently.
I get it. You can't have an extra conference game. That wouldn't make sense. But at the same time, it's very confusing to play a team in your conference.
Non-con game.
Yeah,
but it's not a conference.
I'm sorry. I'm just enjoying the fine dialogue in the chat.
What's going on?
This guy unknown goes, no way Colby makes money off this shit. He's so bad, trash. And then some people are saying, oh, what did you tail one play and you lost? And then I came in with, yeah, Colby sucks. I like the guy in the white shirt.
I
He's
appreciate
cool.
it. I appreciate it, and I will gladly
and
accept the slander.
This is don't send this clip to your mom. He said Colby's college basketball picks are as nice as his mom's ass.
Oh, what?
Well, that might be a compliment.
That's confusing.
That might. I mean,
that's
both
confusing on so many levels, dude. I mean, I don't understand.
We
what you're
need
doing.
that. You got a great ass sound.
I have that on my soundboard out there, man. I gotta go get that.
That is literally someone saying, "I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast." You eat pieces of shit for breakfast.
Both Arizona teams roll. These guys don't know shit. Well, also Colby did just pick Arizona State. Oh no, sorry, he picked
Texas State. Texas
You're right.
State.
What do you like in this one? Clearly the angry guy likes Arizona, but Arizona struggled with Northern Arizona. Kansas State also struggled with Tulane. So now Kansas State back at home, which I think they do have a nice home edge here, but Arizona has no Fafita and 7.5 points. But then I'm thinking, they're making it 7.5 because they want you to take it. What are you doing, Colby?
Yeah, I'm on the Wildcats. Just
begging you to
this
take
place. I can't recall.
That's the only thing I'm worried about.
I can't recall the last time Kansas State played a home game on a weeknight. This place gonna be lit.
It's confusing.
Friday night in Manhattan, the Little Apple.
Both teams are Wildcats. You can't.
That is true.
You can't. You can't say you like the Wildcats.
There's a lot of cats in the Big 12 now. You got like the Houston Cougars, the BYU Cougars.
Well, I mean, we've already talked about the Texas State Bobcats.
Yep.
Just a lot of cats in general.
The Cincinnati Bearcats. It's too much.
What's a Bearcat? Come on, made up animal.
Them and the Buffaloes play this year. Get ready for it. I just think Kansas State. Look, here's the real analysis: is I think Brent Brennan and Arizona are not going to be as good this year. I do think that hire is going to work out long term. It's just I don't think the defense is as good because two of those starters start for Texas now.
Yeah, I mean, Tulane. Yeah. Kansas State was lucky to beat Tulane. And I mean, we were so close on a couple like crazy cashes. The Tulane BYU money line, which I did hit BYU money line. That was awesome. And I mean, I didn't even get to talk about how close I was on that Boise State money line.
Oh,
that was fucking brutal.
You see, they issued an apology, by the way. They said they wrongfully ejected that linebacker for that bullshit Dylan Gabriel abrupt slide, the most dangerous play in football.
I like professional football. They don't eject guys. But I'm with you, Colby. Arizona.
What happened to Tyreek Hill? He got ejected. Huh?
No, he didn't.
No, he got arrested and still played the same day.
Did he play?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize he played.
He scored a touchdown.
He scored a touchdown.
That's called
he did a handcuff celebration.
That's called Drew Rosenhaus.
All right. Did you see the video? Drew, they're arresting me, man. Drew. I don't give a fuck about your agent.
Drew's got some connections. You know that. That's why he gets the job.
I'm going to Noah Fafita in 7.5 points. I'm in. Let's go, baby.
Yeah. Why not? I would say
I'm not on Arizona. I'm on. Look, you guys are already. I took Kansas State. See, you guys. I gotta check these. This spreadsheet.
Well, hold on. I was about to get you. That's why you got to start with the team, not the Wildcats. You confuse Sean.
Yes.
But I would say that the Sean, we would be on the public side taking Arizona here, but I'm going to join you with the public.
Yes,
a little bit of public. It's not too bad. Anyway, plus going against Colby's been profitable lately. So, are we ready, Sean? Or are you just in there yucking it up with the chat?
No, I'm ready. I had Arizona plus 7.5.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're moving along. The chat, the chat's distracting Sean though. I think maybe he's got some blackjack hands going. Cincinnati heading up to Oxford, Ohio. Wonder if they're eating pets over there. Miami of Ohio catching 3.5 plus 145 on the money line, minus 170 for the Bearcats. Would probably be hard to kill a Bearcat with your bare hands. 46 is the total. Who did Miami of Ohio play last week?
They lost to Northwestern
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
No,
ago.
then maybe.
I think they were on bye last week.
Maybe I was
FCS?
watching Cincinnati. One of these teams we were watching. In the
Cincinnati had Pitt last week.
Oh, that's right. And I
Miami of Ohio only had one game so far this year. They lost 6-13 at Northwestern
on the lake.
On the lake. The mistake by the lake.
This is the battle of the Victory Bell. This thing goes back to 1888, guys. All right, so I got you a gift. I got you a gift. All right. I got you a gift.
What's this?
This is because look.
Oh, we're back.
You're a snorkeler. You're
back?
a snorkeler. You don't know about a little battle of the Victory Bell here. All right. So look, open this up. You can put this thing on.
Has this been used before? This feels
this
feels
is
like
fresh.
you already opened it.
This is fresh.
Patty, she didn't wear this, right?
No one's worn this.
That is don't take that to the Circa pool ride. I don't like that.
We have a no.
We got your snorkeling gear here. But yes, the Battle of the Victory Bell this was the first ever college football game played in the state of Ohio. All right. So, I mean, a lot of people think Ohio State. It's Cincinnati and Miami, Ohio, the Kings of Ohio.
But Ohio State's better now, right? Just to be clear.
Allegedly. But yeah, buddy. I mean, look, you wear this, Sean, because Sean's actually he's been applying for his scuba test.
We're doing
scuba certified.
Yeah. Scuba
I'm
certified.
going real deep.
Yeah.
I talk in the back office with Colby there, chatting it up.
Well, you guys just listening to the same podcast together. That's all you're doing. Fucking out there twiddling your dicks and listening to the College Football Inquirer.
Cincinnati gave up 20 to Towson, which is to me that is like, how can you take this team as a road favorite? Meanwhile, Miami, they looked horrible at that weird Northwestern stadium, but they had 2 weeks to prepare for Cincinnati. Cincinnati, a backbreaking loss to Pitt, 28-7.
They've played 127 times, Sean.
Yeah.
And this all-time series, 60-60 with 7 ties.
7 ties?
What the fuck?
Yes, they're dead even. 127 outings.
Did we talk to Colby about the sick ass NFL kickoff rule unrelated to this game?
Oh my God!
Awesome.
Stop it. Wait. What's next? What are you gonna have Kyle Shanahan tell you it's a run play? Right, this is an onside kick. Just so you know, we're gonna be kicking an onside kick. You fucking losers.
That part is dumb.
Pathetic ass fucking NFL. Just come on, snorkel.
Avetta is asking
Feels
for the
strangely sexual the way you said that to me.
Colby, what are you doing? Miami of Ohio seems to play to me. I just can't take Cincinnati as a road
No, so
favorite.
the way Cincinnati lost last week, up 26-6.
Yeah.
I think it's a get right spot for Cincinnati.
Really?
Yeah.
Slightly difficult to breathe.
Yeah.
You're taking Cincinnati as a road favorite.
As a road favorite because and another thing is they lost
Miami
last
of
year.
Ohio
They lost
2.
last year, and I think that
2 weeks to prepare.
Satterfield in year 2. Look, you want to piss off. You want to get fired in year 1. You know, in year 2 here, you lose this game both times to a MAC school. You're supposed to be the new kid on the block in the Power 5. This is how you get yourself fired. They show up. Sorsby, the Indiana transfer's been playing well. Kramer, I know is going to be taking. He's going to be taking the Bearcats as well with me.
I love the Mac. I love taking unpopular dogs. Come on, Sean. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going Miami of Ohio. The Red Hawks. Hawk. You can't take Cincinnati here, Colby. That's crazy. Kramer, what do we got? Alabama, Wisconsin.
You can't ask me to put on a fucking prop and then start moving the show along. You can clearly say I'm doing something over there.
Yeah, I love how it's squeezing his nose. He's talking like this.
This is like a fucking child. You know I have a large head. You want me to fucking snorkel? I'll be honest with you. I think snorkeling is one of the dumbest activities you can do.
What? Snorkeling's awesome.
Just swim around and hold your breath. This thing is stupid. This is a dumb device that someone really stupid. Oh, let me swim around 6 inches from the fucking surface.
Yeah, but then you don't have to keep popping your head.
Hold your breath like a man.
Well, you're gonna need to keep that because I know college basketball season's coming. All right, and you know, judging by last season, that's a quip for you.
Love the taste of that. Hopefully, Patty C didn't make out with that because I've just lathered it up with my saliva. Whew, 9 a.m. on Saturday. Madison, Wisconsin, Alabama. Who, by the way, did not look extraordinary last week against South Florida.
Although I knew they were going to come back when Cousin Mush goes, we got to get on USF money line right now. I go, I don't know, man.
You ripped up your ticket right then, right?
I go, they're only down 1, but it feels like Alabama's going to turn it on at some point. He's like, nah, come on. I'm like, no, thank you.
Alabama is laying 15.5 up in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin. 525 money line coming back. 50.5 is the total. I mean, what is it? I mean, this is an interesting spot because I would, based on Alabama's play last week, interested in maybe fading them in a tough road spot against a major conference school, but Wisconsin's trash. So here we are, rocking hard place. Colby, what are we doing?
I'm taking the points. It's just it's a tough environment. It's a tough environment. Like I think Bama's gonna win the game, but I just feel
I think if Alabama turns this on, Wisconsin has lost each of its last 10 games as an underdog against ranked teams.
Dude, did you watch?
They failed to cover the spread in 9 of its last 10 games.
But you watched that South Florida game. It sounds
yeah.
Dude, South Florida missed like 5 open receivers that could have been 80-yard touchdowns.
I know, but I'm telling you, it is minus 15.5 for a reason. I watched that game, but I also watched Van Dyke average 6.5 yards per attempt against Western Michigan and South Dakota.
Don't disrespect.
Now you're going up. Now you're going up against
the Coyotes.
Now you're going up against Alabama.
But this is one you write home to mom about. You know, I mean, this is. I mean, that look,
Colby. This is just let him go. He's coming back. It's old. Just root for the big school, Sean Green. Give me the favorite. Give me the college football favorite.
No, this is actually. This is a.
You know what it is? He hates cheese. Remember all the times we eat fucking sandwiches.
Every time. Hey, take the cheese off that sandwich.
You don't need to put it on the sandwich.
You never have to put it on a sandwich. Yeah, I think you have. I mean, again, early in the week, tremendous amount of. I don't know why you're running to bet Alabama. I would say that. I
like winning money.
I watched a team that shouldn't be laying 2 touchdowns on the road.
Yeah, because it's USF. It's a pack up. Who gives a shit game? Now they don't have Saban. They're not the team they were, but they will flip this switch. And you're fading Tyler Van Dyke in this mishmash. If they were the Wisconsin of old. Mishmash, Oshkosh, and again, shout out to the Brat Stop. Love those guys. They're gonna have the game on, and even Wisconsin.
Where you at with cheese curds, Sean?
I love cheese curds.
Yeah.
What?
What? You
Doesn't
hate
make
cheese
any
on a
sense.
sandwich,
It's-
but
it's-
you.
don't ask. It's
Yeah,
We need a deep dive
I
on
like
this.
pizza with the cheese on it.
Yeah.
I like chicken parm.
You
with
sound
the
like
cheese on it.
Kavanaugh. I like beer.
Yeah, come
Right?
on, crack a couple cold ones. This is a get right game for Alabama if I ever saw one. Roll Tide. Kramer, you're on Wisconsin.
of course, I'm on Wisconsin. I mean, I think you're laying a big number, and I think no mistakes can happen in this game. So good luck.
The only mistake is
You don't
backing Tyler Van Dyke against this Alabama.
You don't get
defense.
rich laying 15.5 on the
And
road.
you don't get rich back in this dairy raid bullshit offense that they try. If they were old school Wisconsin football, if they were going to run the ball 40 times against Alabama and bleed the clock and shorten the field, yeah, I'd be all over them. They're not. They're spreading it out. They don't know what the hell they're doing offensively.
Yeah, I mean, you could say the same thing about Alabama.
Until this game.
Just athletes making plays. Just unrelated.
I
lies
thought
checking
Sean
in.
was applying
Eggplant.
for his scuba license, but apparently we made. I should have got another one there because I mean, how do you think?
Pretty insulting. You only got one. I will almost.
He knows a snorkeler. When
I
he
will
sees one.
guarantee my successful dominance of Sean in any category of college handicap.
How do you think? How do you
Let's just go with win-loss record.
Small sample size.
Oh,
What are you, 2
okay.
games ahead of me?
What do you go? Tease.
Small sample size.
Oh, okay. I'm 3-0. You're 1-2. Overall, I'm 2 games ahead of you.
Oh wow!
And that was even with your outlier week last week at 11-3. First green sheet on the row.
I'm getting hot.
Okay.
Warming up.
How do you think the snorkeling is on Lake Michigan, or is that Lake Superior?
It's probably horrible.
I mean, again,
What are you
What lake
gonna
are they
find some
on? I
tires
never
that-
remember what goddamn lake they're on. No,
you just,
2 of them,
you
right?
just want a 12-inch tube in your
Yeah.
mouth. That's all you do. You just go in the water and hold your breath. That's how humans used to snorkel.
Hey, new sponsor. Just got going with them. They were involved in the free roll football contest. Shout out to BetUS. You can bet with the best in the business. America's favorite sportsbook. They've been around for 40 years. I use them. Very easy to deposit, withdraw with that sweet cryptocurrency, and you can bet anywhere essentially with BetUS available in tons of locations, including internationally. I know we got some Australians, some English folk, South America, bunch of states where you're like, oh, hey, what do I do to get some action? Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Massive props, same game parlays, some of the best boosts in the business. And they just updated their live betting. I just got down on a bunch of sweet first touchdowns for Thursday night football. Again, easy deposit, even easier withdrawal. Use our sign up link and get 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS so they know we sent you. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS.
I mean, this was obviously first a sex toy, and then an underwater breathing device. I'll never understand.
If you had to snorkel in the continental United States, where are you choosing?
Ooh,
Oh, Florida Keys. Come on.
Oh fuck, that counts as continental. That's a good answer. Yeah, that's probably the best answer.
I'd probably go.
You gotta go Florida, right?
It's there's probably the most.
I mean, Catalina Island's pretty awesome for
Yeah.
snorkeling.
Does that count as
Yeah.
continental?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I guess
It's attached. To
I just consider
California.
that Hawaii.
What do you want me to pick a lake?
That's what I tell my wife, honey. I took you to Hawaii.
There's a sick rock
Right, let's go to
quarry
Catalina.
off 405 near Christiansburg, Virginia. It's got some beautiful water if you want to.
What non-ocean would you snorkel in?
That's
Lake
again,
Michigan? Just go in Lake Michigan?
Just jump in the water and
Colorado River?
open your eyes. Like you're bringing all this equipment around. It's like, what are you going to wear a condom to? Continuing along, 9 a.m. on the West Coast on Saturday, Columbia, South Carolina, the Cox. Big win for the Cox. They're hosting LSU.
Cox.
LSU laying 7 -245 on the money line here on the road against Beamer and the boys. +200 for the Cox. 50 is the total. Are we worried about Stoops not getting his bonus this year?
Oh yeah, that offense looked like hot trash.
I mean, I think I saw biggest road victory for South Carolina in some time, or at least under Beamer.
Beamer has a knack for beating Kentucky though, but still,
Well,
Kentucky was
also
horrible.
like, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of bounces that kind of went the right way in that game, and I don't know. I mean, South Carolina only beat Old Dominion by what?
No, they should
4?
have lost that game,
Yeah.
dude. That was a stupid play by the quarterback.
ODU is a great program.
But
You
then
gotta be careful.
LSU, obviously they lost week 1 against USC. I mean, again, they were competitive in
I
that
had
game.
all that CLV and fucking
Kramer,
LSU
ton of
crushes
CLV.
me.
But and then you look at the score. Sure, LSU beat Nichols, but they didn't look particularly sharp. I know it's weird to say that when a team puts up 44 points, but
We were told LSU was going to be really good.
Yeah.
They did lose a lot. I mean, it does.
but also too, they seem like a team that could peak late. Now, if they have 2 or 3 losses, maybe they're going to miss the playoff. And
Sean,
in some ways, this is a must-win for them.
the two marquee receivers they lost both look like they're going to be good. And the quarterback they lost at minimum looks like he had something to do with their offense. So it's like, yeah, I don't know how much I'm dying to take them here. I noticed that the bet splits are favoring LSU, not surprising, but I mean, don't you just play the hot hand, take the Cox?
No,
This does feel like a letdown spot for South Carolina.
I'm on. Yeah, I think Brian Kelly and his family are going to come into Columbia, South Carolina, and get that dub.
think they're
Lay
gonna
the
show
7.
out?
I just need to see more out of South Carolina. Like, they look shitty against Old Dominion, and okay, that was impressive at Kentucky. But how good is Kentucky? I don't know these things yet. I think LSU, like Kentucky, played nobody.
Yeah.
Like, so it's tough to tell. I tend to think Kentucky's kind of ass. So give me LSU on the road there.
All right, I'll disagree with both you guys. Give me Beamer. I gotta have something to root for in college football.
Shout out to Terrell Furman in the chat saying he thinks LSU rolls.
What does he know?
Well, he is a Giants fan, Ryan, but he was not as high as you were on the Giants. So maybe
You're
he
thinking
knows a
about
couple
the Giants
things.
a lot, Sean. You keep bringing it up. You really got your mind locked in on the Giants. Is it because it's Commanders week and you're trying to reconcile with how you're gonna fade the Giants when they're playing the Commanders?
Oh yeah, I mean, think about all my Daniel Jones exposure, all these overs I have. I'm just sweating it out that he gets to 5 games.
I'm worried you're focused a little too much.
He needs 5 games to qualify for his lowers.
I'm worried.
Dear Lord, please give me 5 games.
I'm worried you might be too locked in on one of the 32 teams in the National Football.
Oh no, I'm not locked in.
All right. So Discord with a light card today, unfortunately. Maybe we should all agree on this one. Boston College, who, by the way, their head coach goes out to the NFL to coach the Green Bay Packer defense. Both Boston College get better, and the Packers defense might not be any better. So maybe he wasn't too good at his job. They're now taking to the road to face Missouri from the SEC. Missouri laying 17. Cousin Mush asked me this question last week in Vegas. Is Missouri actually good? Question mark. -800 on the money line. Boston College +550. 54 is the total. It kind of stands out as being a pretty big number. Obviously a tough spot for a team like Boston College. Missouri is always a weird road trip for everyone. It feels like are they like 2 hours from the airport? I know they're probably not, but it does seem like between the stadium they play in and the way that teams somehow find a way to play some of their worst games there. It's just something about this home edge. I don't really want to go against it. I didn't think Boston College was going to be all that good to start the season. Bill O'Brien, obviously a good play caller. He got Christian Hackenberg drafted in the 2nd round. Never forget. I kind of think Colby's laying the points here, but maybe he'll surprise me.
No, I'm taking the points.
Let's go.
Boston College has a really good offensive line, and
Yes,
this is their
great line
I
play.
love the fact it's their 2nd road game. You know, they went to Tallahassee, so they've used to a hostile environment, and the fact that Missouri has played literally no one. Murray State is a awful FCS. Buffalo, Pete Lembo, brand new head coach there, so they're bottom 10 FBS team. And you look back a year ago, you know, they had this great season, 11 wins, but at the same time, Missouri, they just didn't do a lot. Like, as far as like, yes, they won that many games, but 3-point win where they make a 64-yard field goal, whatever, against Kansas State, close win against Middle Tennessee, close win against Memphis. I think that Bill O'Brien has this team believing in themselves, and Castellanos looked like he took a step forward to me at the quarterback spot for BC.
Bill O'Brien's if nothing else, he's always been good at coaching the quarterback. I mean, look what he got out of Deshaun Watson.
Well, and this is the most athletic like BC's been in a little bit.
Who is
Let's think about this now.
Who did he get drafted at Penn State? I'm blanking.
Hackenberg.
I mentioned that earlier, but also in light of what we've seen from Deshaun Watson without Bill O'Brien, Sean, perhaps there's something to that.
And to me, this is a great spot for Boston College, getting 17 points. I get it. Missouri's looked very good, but to Colby's point, the level of competition hasn't been anything. And Boston College went in and punched Florida State in the mouth. The game was not even close.
Florida State sucks though.
Florida State sucks.
True.
But still, there's some talent on that roster.
Saudi Arabia State.
And it wasn't in some weird international setting. It was in Tallahassee. That was a hostile environment. And then you think, oh, they're gonna let down against Duquesne at home. Not even close. They roll 56-0. This team is locked in. They're good. I gave out the over on their win total of 4.5. And they might be live in this game.
O'Brien brought in. He really Boston College hasn't been very athletic offensively in a long time, or maybe just on their entire roster
in general.
Yeah,
bunch of white guys. Right?
Well, Castellanos was a guy that was there last year, but developed. It takes a step forward. It seems like Trayshawn Ward comes in, a former running back for Florida State and Kansas State. They brought in McDonald, another running back from UCF, and then to me the big ones here, Kamari Morales, the tight end from UNC, and then the wideout Jerron Bradley from Texas Tech. They're just way more athletic than they traditionally have been. So I think they can kind of match up with Mizzou more than perhaps. And they beat Mizzou 2 years ago too. So I mean,
Chad also pointing out that Bryce Young had Bill O'Brien down at Alabama.
You want to talk about an actual quarterback whisperer? Brian, you guys need Bill O'Brien as your OC, not Dable.
I don't know about that. I'm going to lay the points with Missouri.
Wow.
I think Boston College is a little overrated.
But based off what?
Because people are
still mad. He's still mad about that Thursday night.
I mean, what should
that Thursday night with Matt Ryan?
What should this spread be in your mind?
I'm fine with the spread, but I'm going to take Missouri. I think Boston College.
I guess they don't strike me as a team that's going to get their ass kicked, especially when you have a good offensive line.
I make this number. We'll call it 21. 21. I'll say 21.
All right.
Phil, let's see. The nerds make it Missouri by 16, so they agree with you.
Let's go.
And by the nerds, I mean the S&P Plus. All right. Oh shit! What did I just do? Fuck! I'm really having a slow mental day today. All right. West Virginia Pitt. Which
eat shit, Pitt.
We were told West Virginia would show up against Penn State.
We were not. I emphatically pounded the table and explained to you how Drew Aller was going to kick their ass.
But
and
then
he just shoved it down their throats.
Weather intervened, and I would love to see this game played again.
Yeah, they would have lost by more.
This time we're heading to Pittsburgh, which we'll need to get an update from Narduzzi's seat temperature from Colby here.
Well, the athletic director just got KN, so that's not a good sign. But he is 2-0.
First domino,
what a win
2 drop
last week.
Yeah, well, nice win over Cincinnati. Really pulled that one out.
Maybe he won a battle between him and the athletic director.
Eli Holstein has been playing pretty well. To me, I don't. West Virginia feels a bit fraudulent, at least early on here. And I like the spot of Pittsburgh. You're talking about a rivalry game. Points are going to be at a premium, and you're giving Pitt the home field and 3 points. This feels like it's going to come down to. I mean, I don't know. I would be surprised if any team really rolls here. I'm Colby. Why is West Virginia road favorite in a rivalry game like this?
Well, Pitt was down 26 to 3 or 6 and came back and won. I think it's a good spot for Dub V. This rivalry is fucking insane though. So like college football 101 here. This is one of the best rivalries.
Why are they playing it here in the middle of early in the season?
Oh, because conference realignment.
Oh, don't get him going.
No.
But Colby, wouldn't you say in rivalry games, wouldn't you generally lean towards home dogs like Pitt?
Traditionally, but I also think like a crazy comeback like that when you're on this high, and another thing is like getting rid of.
But maybe they were looking a little ahead to this backyard brawl, turned it on. Like you could make a case that shows, hey, they were kind of lost in the first half and then turned it on against a decent Cincinnati team.
I'm with you, Sean, because we were watching, or at least I, for whatever reason, I kept finding my eyes on this game. And I thought Cincinnati did all right. Like it wasn't super fluky. It kind of did feel like a team that maybe was looking ahead. So
a little sleepy.
Absolutely, I'm taking Pitt here. It's 3 points, by the way. I don't think I ever said that. Plus 125 on the money line. 60.5 is the total. And I was reminded by someone in the DMs that There's a lot of schools that you can be betting on, but West Virginia should not be one of them.
Yeah, I'm
in
not,
the hated rivals category. It's right after Miami for me. So I don't know why I've ever bet on. I don't know why I took them against Penn State.
Yeah, I'm just going to trust the better quarterback here. Garrett Green, I think, can cause some problems with his legs.
I like Narduzzi over Neil Brown, and I think if you look at the
bold.
Well, let's look at.
I thought you were a guy that like, but what did he do against Penn State where he down 7 with what, a minute and a half left?
That was bad.
At the 3-yard line, kicked the field goal.
I'll say this: what Neil Brown? Did you actually look into his 1-year extension? It was a 1-year extension where he actually gave up money. You want to talk about someone who's on the hot seat? I think even West Virginia realized their record last year was a bit fraudulent.
What's money when you're the head football coach of West Virginia? You know what I mean, you walk around town.
What state am I?
You see
in?
what Bob Huggins can get away with there?
You can get tequila and soda for $2.75. So what do you need money for?
Yeah, I mean Neil. I don't know if I would 100% agree with wanting to openly say I love backing Narduzzi, and I do have fade Narduzzi in the black book, but I'm going to take Narduzzi.
Moneyline Mac coming in over the top saying, "Wait till all you squares see the 50-50 neutral crowd on Saturday."
Is that what he's?
It's not a home game for Pitt. Eat shit, Pitt.
I like that.
Subscribe to the Big 12.
Does he like West Virginia?
College football experience.
Well, that's the thing. I think if you watch that Pitt game last week against Cincinnati, he scores to cut the game to 14, right? Well, what we think is going to be 14.
Listen, he's not
and
an
he goes for
guy.
2. He goes for 2, which almost cost him the game. If there was a minute left on that clock, they wouldn't have got the ball back and had to kick a field goal. It should have been overtime.
These schools have so
that
much
is
money.
why West Virginia will win this game.
The schools have so much money.
He's not a computer.
You can't hire someone to just have someone do a spreadsheet, or just print out a spreadsheet, hand it to him. Be like, just look at this. It's like a blackjack card. You'll figure it out. All right, 12:30 on the West Coast.
Tell Antonio Pierce.
We're heading to Gainesville, Florida. He didn't have the spreadsheet in his hand. Texas A&M and Florida matchup here. Florida 4.5-point home dogs, plus 155 on the money line. Texas A&M minus 185. 47 is the total. Colby, you spoke of the demise of Mr. Napier.
Yeah. Well, look, they're starting DJ Lagway, who just started.
Great name.
Graham Mertz is out. Lagway, they're high. They're
Lagway plays all the hits, 80s, 90s, and today's rock.
Stud freshman, and he looked very good against a shitty FCS. So you never know, but I can tell you this. I will always take Mike Elko against a guy getting a second start of his career. I will lay the 4.5 with A&M, and I think despite that environment and despite Connor Wegman looking like complete dog shit,
we're not worried at all about the quarterback.
Oh, I'm always after that game against Notre Dame, I am.
Wegman,
but I'll tell you this though, Florida's D line is ass. So I do think A&M can establish the run, and I think they can force Lagway to some turnovers. Elko's kind of a genius to me, to disguising a lot of his packages. So we'll see how good Lagway can be as a freshman here.
Got the offense going against McNeese, which, by the way, played pretty well. I think the week before we were
Clifton McDowell. They got the Big Mac. We got the Big Mick.
I mean, I would love for Graham Mertz to be playing this game so I could fade him. Hopefully, it's Colby's point. Lagway. Did they officially announce he's definitely starting?
I don't think it's official, but I think he is because
damn, he looks young.
Maybe we get lucky and Mertz clears the concussion protocol, because I would love fading Mertz here. Lagway, I'm still down with Colby's handicap of guy making the second start versus Mike Elko, but
it looks like a yearbook photo. Sean. He's very young.
But to me, I would still like the certainty knowing to fade Graham Mertz, but I'm still on Texas A&M road favorite. Kramer, are you gonna make it a trifecta?
Yeah,
give Discord.
Give the Discord some meat.
Give Discord a little Gator chow here. Florida home dog.
Shout out Crocky J. 12:30 p.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to beautiful Corvallis, Oregon, or Oregon. I forget. They get mad if you say it one of the ways. Oregon versus Oregon State. I said it both ways, so I can't be wrong twice. Oregon State plus 16.5, and I would imagine they're pissed off at their cross-state rivals after they left them. Not even at the altar. They just left them in the house they had built 35 years ago.
Now they own the Pac-2, baby.
Oregon State plus 575. Yeah, seriously. Now
a lot of bulletin board material. Not only was Oregon State number 2 in my Pac-12 power rankings.
Well, Wazoo.
That bulletin board material, and to your point, Ryan, bailing on the conference. What are they? Oregon State.
Well, it's not so much that you're bailing on the conference, but you're putting your the other school in your state at a massive disadvantage, which you typically, in almost all of the other major realignment, you've seen situations where one state school kind of sticks up for the other state school.
UCLA and USC.
UCLA, USC,
Stanford, Cal.
Hey,
Stanford,
we're
Cal.
LA football buddies. Yay!
Back when Virginia Tech was leaving the Big East, UVA had something to do with that. So I'd imagine there's like for a rivalry that's already probably like, if you're an Oregon State fan, you're pretty bitter because the rich kids over at Oregon got all the
and
Nike
this
money.
is in Corvallis.
And they've lost 3 or 4 in Corvallis, or 4 or 5, one of the two.
Wrong team favorite.
Oh, whoa.
He's saying we got a live dog.
What have we seen from Oregon? They look bad, man.
And honestly, we were watching this in a bar, but it did seem like they should have reviewed that return when the guy dropped the ball.
Oh, he definitely dropped the ball before that.
Now I think Oregon, one of the Oregon guy picked it up.
Yeah.
But I
thought you couldn't advance a fumble on a kick return.
There is, depending on the time of the game, there is probably a rule about advancing the ball. So maybe it should have come back out.
Scott Rochelle said it didn't matter, so I trust Scott.
That's true.
Oregon, they barely beat Idaho at home. They barely beat Boise State at home, and now they're going on the road. Well, this team has no confidence. Oregon State is going to throw the entire kitchen sink.
This one's for the pack too.
The motivation angle is there.
Put up the 2.
Whatever, the beaver pelts are going to be building dams left and right. And
I think you're supposed to call them pussies nowadays.
The books are telling you they're a 16.5 point dog and the money line's only 575.
The pelt is back in college, I hear.
That tells you all you need to know. The money line is 575 on
I can tell you
16.5 point spread. They're shading the money line down because they know they're gonna get taken care of.
Who's
the sports books? They don't want to. Boise State was 17 points and it was plus 800. Why is there a plus 225 difference? Because the books know Oregon State gonna win this outright.
Well, you're probably onto something. With the money line market is probably out of skew because you have a home dog. And it's very easy to click the money line there. So
and let me just add into this because
just put us all down for Oregon State. Discord gets Oregon.
When Jonathan Smith left for Michigan State, they hired their defensive coordinator Trent Bray, who played linebacker
continuity for
Oregon State, but he went out and hired OC and DC, and I believe even special teams coach, all former Oregon State alums. They're going to let this young team know about the rivalry. What is the Civil War? And you saw them struggle against Idaho. Well, last season when the past 2 years, Idaho was a very good playoff team in the FCS. Their starting quarterback was Giovanni McCoy, who is now Oregon State starting quarterback. I think he can pose some problems with his legs. Him and then the Ole Miss transfer at the running back spot, Jam Griffin. Give me the points in the Beavs until they prove it to me.
I just realized it was Ulysses S. Dant.
Yes, he's been updated his name, Ulysses S. Dant, saying this was called the Civil War back in my day. Play both sides there, Colby. It's a little hotter subject.
Benedicting in the Civil War.
Benedicting the Civil War.
We had a discussion about this last night on the Stadium Heads.
It's a states' rights thing. I get it.
We had a discussion last night about this on the Stadium Heads podcast. I happen to believe, that there was more deaths in the Civil War than we realized due to swamp ass, because you're wearing that denim. You're going through all these hot ass places like South Carolina and all that shit. You know what I mean?
You joke, but that actually was a huge problem.
That's what I'm saying. Swamp ass will take you out, man.
So if it was a big problem in Vietnam, like many, many, many years later, I'm sure.
If it was, they call it like a trench foot for your boots. But there had to have been some trench ass.
That's what I'm saying.
And mosquitoes. Mosquitoes were a huge issue. I just read a great book about the Civil War. If you want to talk Civil War, but this mosquito stuffs were huge isses.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. I got the bet detective on the case. All right. He's checking out how many deaths we have to swamp ass, because I think it's a bigger factor.
Trench ass is just the last option.
Would you guys ever do a Civil War reenactment? Like Green, would you dress up in denim?
Sure, as long as Kramer is the South, I'll be the North.
Well, we all remember the past life regression where I was hypnotized and shared that in a past life I was a soldier for the Union side. So Sean, I think you have to be on the South.
No way, man.
What do you mean?
Is that Stonewall Jackson over there? I can't tell.
USA.
I mean, you were
Shout out to Abe
still
Lincoln,
USA.
OG.
It was just USA divided.
No, they started their own country.
They didn't really succeed in it. They was just they were battling.
I would agree. But I guess they did to some degree.
You're
when
an
they
actor,
started
Sean.
their own.
You're an actor. It's just we're acting.
I don't want my mom saying, "What's all this about you fighting for slavery?"
Yeah, two things to piss off Mr. Tom Green: rooting for the Cowboys and fighting
Rooting
for the
against
South.
America.
Washington State. Can I already just suggest that we do a Pac-2 parlay this week? Washington State taking on Washington, the Apple Cup at this time. What the fuck are they doing? 12:30 p.m. on the West Coast. A little sailgating going to happen up here.
Hey, look, if the ACC and SEC can figure this out, where Florida and Florida State play, and Louisville and Kentucky, South Carolina, Clemson, we can do this. You filthy pieces of shit in the Big Ten. Do a Apple Cup to end the season, a Civil War to end the season.
Wasn't the Big Ten the smart conference? They can't figure this stuff out.
And Nebraska, Colorado.
Washington laying 5 -205 on the money line, +170 for Wazoo. 56 is the total. Quick aside, connected. One day we are going to have to take advantage of my family relationships and maybe do some sailgating at some point. My aunt who's on the board up there, the uncle who's no longer with us, massive Civil War buff. I can remember as a kid going into this room and it was nothing but like, imagine if you were a rich guy and into the Civil War. Library books, fake battlefields.
That shit.
Pretty cool shit.
Those
when you're
fake
a kid.
battlefields always seem kind of cool.
Like
to me.
the, like
you know what I mean? Like I've
hundreds of soldiers.
I went to like a Christmas party one time, or I just knew a bunch of 20-year-olds when I was young. We got shit faced at someone's house that had a gigantic Civil War battlefield there that kind of caught my eye.
Colby, you didn't. This game is at Lumen Field.
That's the same thing, Seattle.
Oh, okay.
It's the Seahawks Stadium. It's not Husky Stadium.
Yeah.
It's the Seahawks Stadium.
That does matter. I don't think that's.
Does it? I think so. I mean, regardless, I think Washington State's a better football team. I think Washington State would win anywhere.
I think Husky Stadium does give them a little bit of an edge.
But it is a little bit of bullshit because they played
in
Seattle last season.
Yeah.
So they have to go back there 2 years. But remember what happened? Wazoo almost beat them, and Washington went to the national championship. I think Washington.
They suck.
That's what I'm saying. I think
Washington
Washington State's a better team.
Covered against them.
Have you seen? Yeah, they did. You see John Mateer, this quarterback for Wazoo. He's a stud. Had a fire game last.
Shout out Mike Leach, RIP.
Yes. Last outing against Texas Tech. I'm all over Washington State. I think Washington State's a better team, and I actually think Washington State is a team we should probably talk about as potentially a team that could make the playoffs.
We did in the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, you look. They got through the Texas Tech gauntlet. If they get through this one,
but I got Oregon State beating Oregon, which I think is going to really make their case. But
there we go.
How are you gonna update your Pac-2 rankings?
It's gonna be tough because I did love the ass whooping Washington State put on Texas Tech. Not only a lock, cash me a nice number.
One of us picked Washington State to make the playoff at 40-1 on the Pac-2 / Mountain West episode. One of us. Just throwing that out there.
I'm a little worried about Fish's offense, what he did to Washington State last year, but I'm with you, Colby. This Washington State team is pretty good. They're gonna get up for this game. I think 5 is a crazy number to hang on this game because it feels like at the very least it'll be a field goal game, and I think Washington State's a live dog. So. Give me Wazoo +5. Kramer, are you making it a trifecta?
We're doing a Pac-2 parlay this week.
Are we?
Wow.
Oh yeah, Oregon State and Washington State
on the money line. I mean, come on.
That's gonna pay off.
This is not our first weekend doing football stuff. All right, next up,
Ryan. Speaking of doing football stuff, let's head into the lab.
Oh,
where
he's already ready.
Yeah, right. Put your safety goggles down.
I feel like I feel like I'm an OnlyFans model, just doing free content right now. This is bullshit. You know what? That's we should maybe that's what I'll do. I'll save the hot steamy. Once it gets fogged up, I'll save that for the Patreon.
Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, where you can go start getting your own college football and NFL models, and we are in rhythm. Both myself and the Rhythm model, both like the model I built and Rhythm's model, both are locked in on Tulane catching 13.5 points in Norman, Oklahoma. I know they struggled a little bit there, but last week I think this is a good spot for them. And the advanced AI, the numbers, the crunching that's going on in the background also likes this for. What are you looking at, Kramer?
Just noticing how your goo is getting all over Colby because he's not wearing his safety glasses.
Okay. I don't know what Ryan's
Your
going
model
for.
goo.
Oh, okay.
Jesus, what is this?
Tulane plus 13.5. I like it. Rhythm likes it. Get down sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today.
Real quick on Tulane.
Yeah.
Well, there was some fire social media content from some of their cheerleaders last week.
Really?
Well, just another reason to maybe get behind the Tulane powerhouse that Colby's been telling
wave.
about. They got all the money. They got some talent, some good views.
They should have won
good
that
location.
game, man. They should have
oh
won
my
that
God.
game.
That's a cousin mush loss.
Yeah.
I've ever
He definitely mushed him. And it's not like Oklahoma's looked amazing. I mean, ugly win against Houston. They didn't score in the second half against Houston. Now you could say maybe letdown loss or letdown spot for Tulane, a dream crusher spot for Tulane after they didn't get the win at home against Kansas State. But I still think they'll be up for this Oklahoma game. And if Oklahoma's offense is struggling to put up points against Houston, I like Tulane's chances. I like the Tulane quarterback. Yeah, he had that. What was it, like a strip sack going back the other way? Like, you're gonna get some of those bounces, but they still covered the number. I think 13.5 is too high. Colby, what are you doing?
Oh man, it seems. I think I gotta go with you, but I'm a little nervous about a freshman on his first road start, and that like, you haven't been in a college football environment like that. You don't get that shit in high school. So,
numbers kind of saying Tulane, Sean.
I'm gonna take Tulane just because I think he's a stud.
Yeah,
Darian Mensah, yeah, and Mario Williams back playing against his former team. But I am a little bit nervous of the freshman on the road first road start.
So, Sean, you're taking Oklahoma?
No, I said the whole handicap was about how I like Tulane.
You're acting puzzled with Colby's take.
No, because Colby was hesitant to.
I'm taking Tulane, but it's to me
number says Tulane.
That would be the way.
I thought he would be more excited to take Tulane.
Says Tulane.
I'm just never a fan of a freshman quarterback on the road.
Well, it's also against a defensive-minded head coach.
Keep an eye on this game, guys. Please. Colby can change
if it moves. If it moves to 14.5, I'm predicting Colby switches to.
No, it's gonna. If it moves to 13, he'll switch.
It does.
That's where
it's easy to see a tide turn. That's a classic Tulane.
I'll make a prediction.
He's a classic. His key numbers are different than the markets.
I'll predict that this one does not get to 14.
Okay, fair.
I think it goes. I think by kickoff we're talking about maybe an 11-point spread. That's the prediction. Oh boy, we didn't talk about Colorado up top. Yikes.
Didn't look good.
Colorado State. We're heading to Fort Collins, which is a beautiful town. Love Boulder. Love Fort Collins.
Shout out to Fort Collins.
Colorado laying 7 on the road here. Minus 285. Colorado State plus 230. 58.5 is the total. It does. I'm not. But I know you guys think I'm a Colorado hater.
Yes. Very much so.
More just a prognosticator of the future and accurate picker of Colorado future games, because it does seem like there's a lot of distraction at minimum. The speed that we saw early in the season didn't necessarily show up, and the lines defensive probably showed up a little bit more than the offensive line. But once again, we're talking about a team with no offensive line. And maybe Shedeur is an NFL prospect. Maybe he's not, but their offense is being ruined by how bad their offensive line is. And as someone who has rooted for teams that have been ruined by offensive line play, and the Hokies are being ruined by offensive line play right now, it you just can't overcome it. I know Colorado State. There's a lot of reasons to take Colorado in this spot, and I think you guys are probably going to be donkeys and do it. But to me, Coach Prime is in a tough spot right now. Things are sliding out of control. You just got skull fucked by your biggest rival in a game where the score could have been much worse. Against a freshman, by the way, who's going to be there for 2 more years.
No, and I was wrong. You were right, Nebraska fans. Oh, you're such an idiot. Yeah, I got the pick wrong.
Let me speak for Cody.
No.
You're an idiot.
All right, and I own it. I'm not one of these touts who will pretend like I didn't pick Colorado. But this is an interesting game because inevitably, like I just mentioned earlier, home dog in a rivalry game, I'm looking towards the dog. But the counter is Colorado State obviously has looked rough. Texas lit them up. Now, obviously, Colorado isn't as good as Texas, but Arch Manning was out there dealing against this Colorado State team as the backup quarterback. Now,
Texas might be the best team in the country.
And that's fair. And that's why I'm kind of stuck in an interesting position where Colorado's only won 2 games by 8 points or more since Coach Prime took over. So it's not like they're, I mean, that's worth noting.
Definitely.
And since they got rid of their other OC, Sean Lewis, they've only averaged 20.3 points per game.
Well, why'd he get fired again? He realized it was a dumpster fire and started looking for a job.
But I could see Colorado cruising, and then I could see Colorado being up like 17 to.
What have they done that suggests they can cruise against anyone?
I mean, they have Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders who can move the ball against Colorado State. But I'm kind of torn. I know Kramer's just gonna torn. He's a hater, so he's gonna be on Colorado State.
Prove it to me.
Automatically. I'm an independent handicapper.
John,
damn it.
On the road, a team that's come on,
Fort Collins. There's gonna be plenty of Buffs fans there.
The Buff fan. I mean, I will say this, as someone who has been to Boulder, not recently. One
of their 8-point wins was against.
They are. Colby's going to disagree with me, but I don't think that the priority of the city is football.
I do disagree with you. I think they're great fans.
I'm not saying they're not great fans. I'm just saying this is not a.
Well, the first priority is weed. Second would be football.
Probably snowboarding.
Nah, I'd put
maybe basketball first at this point.
Basketball, no way.
And then also it's like the party of going to a game. Like, do they get to give out all the credentials when they're a visiting team? We're gonna have all the celebrities on the sideline. No. So I think the event of the home game makes it such that I think less likely that fans make the road trip down to Fort Collins. That would be my bold prediction.
No, they'll make it down there, but still, this game will be lit. This is the first time they're playing in Fort Collins since like the 90s, I think. So I fully expect Colorado State to stay within this number. This is the Rocky Mountain Showdown. It's the old school rivalry. So one thing when I don't know, I just feel like Colorado State wants this game. You know what I mean? Like, after the way that game left, that taste in their mouth last season, they probably should have beat Colorado last year.
We got to get some Colorado A&M jerseys or shirts. Little homage to where Colorado State came from, but I mean, I got to take them.
They haven't covered, like, Colorado's won every game since 2014, and only one of those, and that was 2015, was less than 7 points. But
they were playing neutral site all those years.
I mean, Travis Hunter could go for 200. It could be a 24-20 game. And as we know from that first game against North Dakota State, Dion looking to pad Shedeur Sanders stats. Travis Hunter goes for a deep ball and they can't cover him, and they backdoor the 7. I'm taking Colorado State.
I am too. Yeah, give me the points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colby,
but I'm not locking this up.
Colby, do you think that Shedeur Sanders ends up being a first-round pick in the NFL draft?
Oh my God!
I mean, I think he should be. But the bigger thing here is, like, can they actually try to run the ball?
They can't run the ball. Their offensive line.
I refuse to believe that. I think it's your identity. what you practice is who you are, and I don't think
we are who you thought you were.
Well, I agree with you. Effort, like some of run blocking is just effort.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I really,
But they've been pretty
I put a lot of
bad.
this on Pat Shurmur. I don't like their game plans. I think they're very predictable on offense. What they're doing is very, very, very predictable.
When you recruit the way that they recruit, and you don't worry about the offensive line, and you bring in a coach that is specifically there to pad your son's stats to make him more attractive as a draft prospect, and then the offense looks like this, that's on no one else but Prime.
And Pat Shurmur, but
He hired Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur is doing exact Pat Shurmur things. That's
I'm
all
with you. Like the offense to me is talented, but like they're stupid to me. Like you can't be that predictable. You cannot be that predictable. I feel like I'm
just worried they have some athletes that are going to make it difficult for Colorado State, but
their offensive line is broken.
But dude, like their offensive line is better than Oregon State's, and Oregon State can run the ball. You know what I mean? Like it's all about committing to it.
You act like Colorado State's D line is a bunch of like beasts.
I mean, I don't know if it matters against this offensive line. Sometimes when an offensive line is bad, it just takes the right kind of stunts and movement and things to confuse them. It might not be like they might be big 4-star guys, but it might just be they're not being coached up. I mean, to the point when you bring in, I mean, what do we always talk about? Offensive line continuity. And again, the reason the offense is moving to this quick game bullshit and taking the big play out of the offense is because they can't block anyone. So I'm sure it's not going to be the same as Nebraska.
I don't believe that they can't. I think it's what they practice. I think if they try to run the ball more and get more creative with running the ball.
But it's what they think. That's why they're coach. That's why they're calling the game like this. It's what they believe. They see the practices. They know what they got, and this is the game plan.
Like I watched both Colorado games so far, every play, every snap, and I feel like I was calling the fucking game. I was like, they're going to do this play right here. They're going to do this play right here. They're going to do this play right here. That's a problem in football. You don't want your opponent to know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, maybe they should have kept Sean Lewis. I don't know, or maybe he just didn't want to be there because he didn't.
He didn't run the ball well either. I like to me. I mean, I like Sean Lewis.
His offense was more creative.
True,
in my opinion.
I would have gone out and got.
But yeah, I mean, this
is more creative off OC.
Colorado. Just what was the win total you guys took over on this year?
5.5.
How we?
I think Colorado wins this game. Still, they could win this game, but 7 points.
Sean, mark this as a potential Benedict.
What do you expect me as a Colorado fan to take Colorado State to win? You're crazy. Colorado wins 27-24.
It's been reported to me, Sean, that Colby snuck 2 extra games on. We're actually doing 14 games.
He did 14 last week. We didn't catch him.
Oh,
Ryan, real quick, one last nugget here. How many sacks did Colorado State have against Northern Colorado last week?
0. Okay.
That doesn't seem like a dominant defensive line.
But I
almost want to take Colorado now.
Take him.
Chat decide. Should I switch and take Colorado?
Take him.
Well,
and I think
you and Colby hop on your donkeys.
Well, if you want me to remind you about
shoot down to
Northern
Boulder.
Colorado last season too, they were 0-11 in the FCS.
All right.
And that's after they lost 52-0 to Texas.
I think that the upside here is that Prime knows this is one of the few teams he can beat on the schedule, so you better get it done. But
also, if Buffs lose, their season's over.
You won't find me betting on Coach Prime or Colorado this season, unless it's a juicy spot. Well, give me a spot. I mean, lay in 7 on the road. Come on, Sean.
We said 14 games, Sean. Should we do 15 because Old Dominion is getting 14 at home against Virginia Tech?
No. What are we?
I mean, you want to talk about upset alerts?
4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. We're talking UCF and TCU. We're heading to Fort Worth. TCU a 2-point home dog, plus 110 on the money line. 61.5 is the total. My Heisman picks are totally trash.
KJ Jefferson not balling. Josh Hoover from TCU has played well.
Shot my shot though.
Drone strikes.
Oh, that's fine. We're still alive.
It is a fun nickname though. You can keep using it.
Tyler Bowen needs to be shot in the head. And they need an offensive line.
I mean, I think UCF. It's crazy. 419 rushing yards per game. Can't they just ground and pound on this TCU team and bleed the clock and get this outright win? I don't know, but on the other side, I don't love UCF as a road favorite from what I've seen of them so far. Colby, what are you doing?
I'm going to take UCF. I thought TCU wasn't that impressive on the farm there against Stanford. If anything, Troy Taylor just completely gave away the game.
Stanford should have won that.
Yeah. Who goes for a 4th and 17 with 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning from your own 20? And I think he did that twice or something to that extent twice. I just don't buy into TCU yet. UCF. Now I'm always terrified of taking UCF with Gus Malzahn because he's like Narduzzi in many ways, where he'll go for questionable spots, questionable things at questionable times, but they're just better than TCU. I think they're going to establish that physicality on the line of scrimmage. Remember, TCU's best defensive lineman transferred out to Oklahoma a season ago. Or this offseason. So I still think they're figuring it out on the line of scrimmage. UCF to get it done.
It's like Gus Malzahn rolls a dice or a die every time he does something, and every once in a while, it's like, oh, snake eyes.
He's the true when the term riverboat gambler for the coach. I feel like that's Gus Malzahn. Because
we got to come up with a gambling Gus.
Gambling Gus.
Is that we probably do better than that, but I mean, it is funny when coaches like that make. Like they think they're being aggressive or they think they're being like edgy, but they're in fact just calling the most obvious like
riverboat.
Here's what I would say: like he loves to call a good one of those sweep options on a 4th down. The
or
ones
a fake punt, or like
the ones
like,
that get,
like
the guy
just
gets
crazy
tackled
fucking
5 yards in the
call.
backfield, and you're like, what the fuck?
Or he'll just go for like a 4th and 5 at his own 30.
Your quarterback,
like first quarter,
pounds.
First drive, 4th and 5, your own 30. He'll do shit like that. It's a wild card. He's a true wild card.
All right. So what are you doing in the game?
I think UCF's the better team, man.
Yeah.
I think, and they got the more experienced quarterback. I know it's on the road, but I just think they're the better team. They're going to be better along the line of scrimmage. Give me them very, very, very Golden Knights to get it done.
Oh, it's a lot of berries.
Kramer, what are you doing?
I'm with you. I still like the idea of UCF in the Big 12 as well. I'm not out on that. And I was going to pull up updated Heisman odds to let everyone know.
I have a calendar reminder of when you should check.
To see Jones. Do you want to know what he is right now?
Sure.
100-1. Oh my God, we should load up with more.
What's Diego Pavia?
KJ,
you see they won 56.
KJ Jefferson down to 80-1. So we're working with CLV on KJ Jefferson. What do you want to know, Pavia?
Of course.
250-1.
Jump in on that.
Get out of here.
SEC.
Quinn Ewers is the favorite, followed by Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, and Carson Beck. Dylan Gabriel not going to win the Heisman. Newsflash.
All right. We're all on UCF laying the 2. TCU goes to the Discord. Time for the lock, dog, and tease.
Happy birthday.
I am an East Carolina fan.
Well, awesome, Colby. Time for the lock, dog,
Play
and
App
tease.
State, another rivalry. We can go 18 games if we want to.
Presented by BetUS, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Get in there, use our link so they know we sent you. Get down on some action. Available everywhere. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Bet with the best. Bet with BetUS. Kramer, what do you got? Lock, dog, tease, bonus lock. We'll get some parlays in there.
Just a tremendous slate this week. In hindsight, not a lot of games that I super duper love, but I'm with Colby. I'm gonna lock. We'll take a weeknight game to start. Give me Texas State. Lock that one up. Seems like the market's telling us something there as well. We're also gonna take. Oh man, we like both of these Pac-2 games so much. So we'll make Oregon State a lock, and we'll make Washington State the dog.
Okay. What about your tease, Ryan?
A lot of pressure here on the tees. We're gonna. Do we go? We'll move Wisconsin up to 21.5. I'm really thinking outside the box.
Okay.
Here. We're gonna take a very good. Let's see. We're gonna take Colorado State up to 13. That's easy money. And then let's. I think Pittsburgh getting 9 points is probably a good spot to be in.
Pittsburgh +9, Oregon State, Texas State. All right, for me,
I really like. Now I went from saying I don't really like the card to I love this card.
I'm going big dogs. Give me Boston College +17. Give me. What do I like? I mean, this is tough because I love Oregon State plus 16.5.
Join me.
Other lock.
Join me. We can ride Beaver together.
I do like Wazoo on the money line, but I'm going to say Tulane shocks the world. Nice little plus 425 money line. I mean, I like a lot of these dogs. I think it's going to be kind of an interesting card. Texas A&M was in consideration for a lock, but I would just want to see. I'd rather see Graham Mertz out there. For my tees, interesting tees opportunity. We're going to get Texas State up to 8, like that spot.
Oh wow, you doing some Stanford Wong shit in college?
Yep.
Be careful.
I'm gonna get Pitt up to 9. It's always going to be a game, and Wazoo up to 11. But again, I like Wazoo with the points. I like Wazoo money line, like Oregon State money line, Tulane money line, maybe even a little round robin Tulane, Oregon State, Wazoo. That feels pretty good to me. Colby, what do you got?
Let's lock up the Bearcats of Cincinnati minus 3.5.
Ooh, whoa!
At Jagerbaum Field.
You didn't need to do that. Yeah, you didn't need to do that.
And the second lock, let's take. Let's just keep with the road teams. Texas A&M minus 4.5 at the Swamp.
Oh.
I do like that one.
How many players die from Swamp Ass?
Unknown was right earlier. Colby's picks are questionable.
Money line play is Washington State.
Nice
They're
pick.
the better team. They're gonna win. The tees. Let's just start with Wazoo plus 11.
Oh, double dipping. You dog.
Pitt plus 9. Come on, it's the backyard, bro. Getting 9
points.
Got to take 9. BC plus 23.
Oh,
Let's
there
go.
you go. Bill O'Brien's not losing by 23.
Yeah, let's go.
Famous last words. Any parlays? Do we just go with the Pac-2 parlay?
Yeah.
Oh, love the Pac-2 parlay. Let's go.
It's right there. OSU.
The 2-pack.
The 2-pack. The 2-pack parlay. 2-pack Shakur.
I also I could also offer up a Texas State Arizona parlay as a Arizona 2-step.
I like her 2-pack parlay. That's perfect.
Okay.
Did you go with A&M? You could do the Texas 2-step.
No,
Texas State and Texas A&M.
We got one. We got one. We got to hit one of these.
No.
And we got an 16.5 point dog in there. Man, awesome show as always. Thank you everyone tuning in, and appreciate you hitting that subscribe button and telling a friend. This is how SGPN works. We're not some big budget corporate media. We rely on word of mouth. We need you guys spreading the good word of degeneracy. Tell people to check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Tell people to check out the College Football Experience. Tell people to download the SGPN app. Follow us on X.
If you could write it on a
involved.
shitter, I'd appreciate it. If you could check out Sports Gambling Podcast or check out the College Football Experience, and then take a photo of that, but it's got to be at a shitter.
Graffiti. Now, most shows would not encourage you to break the law to spread the word, but anyone who graffitis, we will pay a ticket if you get caught and hook you up with the gift card.
Anyone who's a graph artist, right? Get out there.
What did you just say?
Right, hit those walls.
Is that a word?
That's like the
graph
sanitation engineer of trash guys.
Okay.
Instead of graffiti, they call them graph artists.
That's the most 2024 shit.
Please get out there if you can. And look, if you do that, take a photo. If I ever see you at a game, we can huff paint in the parking lot.
Yeah, more graffiti. The world needs more graffiti, especially promoting our podcast and SGPN.
Do you think we'll get any cool SGP graffiti?
I hope so. Come on. If you're in a gang, jump us in.
No TCE stuff. No, that doesn't count.
No. Look, I told you there's a civil war. There's a civil war in the office.
Can bring up.
You're gonna ride with old Stonewall Jackson here, this piece of shit.
Colby, go talk to the graph artist in your chat on Wednesday.
This is my chat.
PM.
I see these people. This is my chat.
I don't think so. I told all your people to leave, and yet these people are still here. So.
Unknown is the only guy not in my chat.
The one guy who hates
but I encourage him to come to my chat. I would encourage him to come talk shit.
You know that was a burner. You just had Noah come in here to stir shit up. I'm ready to go, Sean.
Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second money green. He's Ryan.
Go Hokies.
Kramer. Let it ride.